So that comes to the next dogma people on Earth assume is correct, that science had found and understood the so-called laws of nature, or the laws of anything or everything. Science on Earth pushes their concepts as dogma, when they are only theories they cannot prove. And in order to be able to move forwards they come up with other laws they call under another name, for example constants, and the best example of this is the speed of light. Science imposes it as a dogma, as something fixed, therefore a mathematical constant that other calculations use as their base. I had to go and research this, and I encourage you to do the same. Even on Earth light speed is not a constant, they have been measuring it for well over 100 years and it always comes up with different values, some quite different. So scientists started to make an average reading and came up with what is considered to be the accepted constant speed value. But as the readings continued and the results continued to vary, in 1972 they came up with some kind of formula that always comes up with the same result as the formula itself contains the accepted value of the speed of light, so the formula moves with the variations when they appear. This, in my opinion, is not science, that is self-validation. You cannot use a fixed speed of light value as a base constant inside the same formula that validates its same constant. That is circular thinking. It is like asking a character in a fiction novel to validate the same novel as real. It is akin to take for granted that Snow White is a real person just because Grumpy and Sneezy said she was. And I found the same problem again involving the gravitation constant, and I'm quite sure this will be the case with many, if not all, other so-called universal constants used in physics. And why would they do such a thing? To what purpose? As we've said before, to be able to control, guide and monitor human perception in order to keep it exactly where they need and want it to be. This causes exactly what we've been saying for some time now, that science on Earth, all of it but especially physics and mathematics, are only self-contained and self-validating constructs that do not reflect the so-called outside world, but that are useful as a control mechanism, as any other religion would be. And the scientists in their white robes are nothing other than that religion's priests, the ones who must contain and guide everyone else into complying with their rules and laws. There are two different sciences on Earth, the one for the people, all contained, dogmatic and inflexible, therefore collapsing the very nature and purpose of science itself, to be curious, to ask questions and to replace old concepts with better ones, therefore useless as a science but useful as a dogmatic religion. And a second science not available for the public, a science only for the cabal, the controllers of Earth and their members. It is at this level where real technological advances take place, and from where such novelties are retrofitted into the popular level of science when, and if, it is for a purpose useful for the cabal and controllers. That other science is enormously more advanced than the official popular level of science, and it also includes heavy cooperation with off-world non-human highly technological species. What humans get regarding technology is only what they want humans to have, and with a purpose that benefits them, and not the human population. Even inventions that seem new and revolutionary, such as the internet, is not new at all, and has horrible dark sides to it. It can be seen as the freedom to share information to a level never seen before on Earth, but that is as far as most can see. In reality, it is destroying truth and thought. Thanks to the internet, the controllers have developed the best mechanism or way to hide anything in plain sight, simply by swamping and inundating the user with so much information. He or she no longer can know what is real and what is not, because the person is constantly being bombarded with countless contradictory theories. Such a tremendous information overload causes the masses to dismiss all the information that is not coming from official sources in an attempt to gain some stability and frame of reality from which to base their life on. That's why I strongly insist you hear no one and everyone at the same time and develop the strength of mind to develop your own personal reality and all what sustains it. Knowing what is real and what is not is simply an impossible task on Earth nowadays. Everything that dares to move out of the accepted paradigm dogmas imposed by modern science on Earth is banned and criticized as pseudoscience when their science is far worse and not based on their cherished scientific method, and proved not to be so. And all branches of science on Earth are controlled the same way. They all are based on a socially accepted official board of appointed controllers for each topic, with a hierarchy of priests that dictate to the ones below what is real and what is not, as I said before, using the universities as initiation platforms. And when one or another member strays off what is officially accepted, that person is simply ostracized or even erased, if you know what I mean. Everything that has to do with science on Earth is of a deterministic and mechanical nature, irremediably causing the disqualification of everything outside their non-scientific rules imposed only for population control purposes, and everything that cannot be empirically measured in an utter materialistic manner. So, medicine, for example, can only approach health issues on a mechanical scalpel level, seeing the body as only a machine, aggressively disqualifying all other types of medicine. Everything that has to do with consciousness is simply explained away with reductionist explanations that sometimes border the ridiculous, and all psychic phenomena like telepathy are simply impossible, because they impose the idea that you are only inside your head and are a product of chemical and electrical processes inside your physical skull. Therefore, that causes people on Earth to think that there is no purpose to life, that their consciousness disappears after death and all their efforts to bring some meaning into their lives are futile, and will only bring about dubious results. The hard fact that science on Earth is clearly controlled by secret societies through their priests, that are those highest in the scientific community's hierarchy, and is also indistinguishable from religion because those scientific priests impose non-scientific principles, laws, and constants in a dogmatic, arbitrary way with the sole purpose of containing and guiding the results so they don't stray out of what they want, collapses the purpose of science itself. On Earth, science is nothing more than just another religion, sold to the public as if it were a tool to achieve the ultimate truth, ingeniously distorted and designed to be a self-contained and self-validating construct that not only does not expand knowledge, but engineered to keep the human mind's perception within an accepted and controlled thought and perception corridor. And to keep human minds and souls from discovering who they truly are, and to hinder their connection with the original source and consciousness. Highly appealing to all those who don't fall into established church religions, thinking that they have a critical analytic mind, deluding them into thinking that they hold the ultimate truth. And with it, they fall into yet another religious dogmatic trap. Science must be free, for everyone, flexible, and curious, and overall it must never be dogmatic, or it will simply not be science at all. Science on Earth is religion disguised as irrefutable truth. In real science there are no fixed rules, there is no fixed truth, no laws, and no dogmas. Only concepts we accept to be the best we can come up with, but only for now. Tomorrow will be another day. Science must evolve with who uses it, and certainly must never be used to limit consciousness, much less to belittle limitless beautiful souls.